empathic traits is quite the thing. I don't believe anyone in my life has caused me as much emotional suffering as the teacher I had when I was 8 years old. I can still hear her voice 20 years later. She had an air about her reminiscent of the White Witch from C.S. Lewis's book series, The Chronicles of Narnia. I can still experience that sensation she induced in me when I knew I was about to be punished or humiliated in front of the class, a feeling I can only describe as the cooling and the hollowing of the innards. My body wasn't prepping me to run away and escape. This was not a fight or flight response. I was getting ready to die. There was never any mercy. I can recall sustaining a rib injury after being elbowed in the sternum, which kept me off school for 2 days. When I returned, I would brace my arms near my chest to protect myself. She would aggressively pull my hands and arms away from my chest without warning. I remember her keeping me in at break time, forcing me to do work that I couldn't do. She would get angrier and angrier each time I couldn't answer her questions. As the clock ticked and my breathing became heavier and my eyes wetter, her anger intensified, along with her frown that kept burrowing into her face and her voice that kept getting louder. Every day at school, I would assume that my mother was dead. She had to be dead. This was a more comforting thought than my mum has willfully left me to rot in this horrific place in the care of this witch. If the latter was true, to me it would mean she didn't love me, and so, to console myself, I told myself that my mother was dead. That classroom overlooked the playground on which the parents would gather at the end of a school day. I would stare fixatedly out of the window, my eyes unwavering. Was my mum dead? Hopefully, hopefully not. I never knew which option I would rather. It dawned on me how stiff my neck was as I gazed out of the window, when that same teacher would attempt to pull my head back towards the front of the class. I would tremble in the presence of this teacher. I knew that no matter how hard I tried, my stupid, useless, broken brain would invariably do something that would make her shout at me. It was a matter of when, not if. A couple of times I would even throw up. I remember one such time. Halfway through a lesson, I told her that I think I'm going to be sick. She looked at me and said, "I thought we weren't going to do this anymore, Harry." I ran to the classroom door, flung it open, and bolted down the corridor to the bathroom. I didn't make it. I threw up on the corridor floor next to the bathroom door. Despite the lasting damage this person inflicted on my psyche, I felt bad for her, that she had to clean up after me. I locked myself in a cubicle and continued vomiting. I froze as I heard her footsteps fast approaching the toilet. She stopped as she saw the undignified contents of my stomach splattered on the ground. "Oh, Harry." Though she did not scream it, nor snarl, nor bellow as she normally did. She sighed, bleated it, with fragility, emotion, and exasperation. I had never heard her be so human before. I felt bad. I had inconvenienced her. I had let her down. Thanks to me, I had ruined her class and maybe even her day. How could I be so selfish? How could I be so inconsiderate? Did any of the other children make a scene like I did? No, of course they didn't. They aren't like me. They're better than me. "You're a fucking idiot, Harry," I told myself in my head. I thought about her again the other day, this teacher. I wasn't reminded of the fear and the agony I experienced whilst being in her class. I thought, I feel bad that I threw up in the school corridor. I didn't feel anger, resentment, or terror. I felt guilt. I felt bad. Knowing that she was upset about this made me want to find her and apologise to her. It was not I who mattered. It was she.